Hello guys, welcome to the Edupedia world. In this tutorial, we'll be learning some code conventions of Java. Under code convention, we'll be covering why do we have code conventions, Java naming convention, we'll look out for some other coding conventions, and we'll see comments in Java. So let's begin. Why do you think we have code conventions? Well, code conventions are important to programmers for a number of reasons. Why? Because 80% of the lifetime cost of a piece of software goes to maintenance. So if that much lifetime cost is going to a maintenance, then you can see if code conventions are not followed, then it could increase more than 100% even. So that means the code maintenance will become very hard if code conventions are not followed. Hardly any software is maintained for its whole life by original author. Yeah, that's very true because there are many software industry that are built about 10 years ago and are still in use. And new developers come in by making changes into that applications whenever required. So if code conventions are not followed, it could be possible that you made some changes according to what you like, and then when I came and I need to make some changes, I'm making according to what I like. So whole code will be a mess. There could be some code written with comments, some code written without comments, some code having classes names whatever you like, and some code having classes name what I like. Imagine a scenario where there are 100 developers. The code will be a complete mess and impossible to understand if code conventions are not followed. Okay, so code conventions improve the readability of software, allowing the engineers to understand new code more quickly and thoroughly. So, if code conventions are followed and we have some specific rules defined, then whenever a new engineer comes in, he can easily and quickly understand the new code because there are some rules and the code has been written according to the rules. I hope it's clear that why we need code convention, because without code convention your code will be a complete mess and really impossible to understand. So if you ship your secure code as a product, you need to make sure it is well packaged and clean as any other product you create. Well, that is also important. If you are shipping your code and handing over to someone else, then for the new team to understand what the code is about, the code should follow code conventions. I hope the importance of code conventions is quite clear by now. Let's check out some of the very important Java naming convention. So, in Java, whenever you have to name something, you need to follow a specific rule. You cannot just name any class or a variable with the name whatever you like, or, a way whatever you like. So, there is a particular convention that you need to follow while doing that. So, let's see that. So whenever you have to name a class, so the class name should start with uppercase letter, be a noun. Example, string, color, button, system, thread. Okay. So your class name must start with the uppercase letter and it should be a noun. So these are the example given. So that doesn't mean if you start a class with a lowercase letter, your compiler will give an error. The compiler will be okay. The only problem someone will have will be you. Because if there is no convention, then you will be having a confusion whether this is a class or not, whether this name is a proper class name or not. So that is the reason your class name should follow this convention where it should start with uppercase and it should have been a noun. So let's see, if you want to create your own class, what can the name be? Let's say I want to create a class to make a bank transaction where I am submitting some amount. So my class name could be bank. Okay, so that is a class name that I am giving. Now let's see what is the naming convention for our interface name. Well, interface name should start with the uppercase letter, be an adjective. So usually interface name is an adjective and it also starts with an uppercase letter. So for example, a runnable, remote, action listener. So these are the some of the predefined interface name in Java. So just remember it should start with an uppercase and the name should be an adjective. I hope it's clear. Moving forward. Okay, now let's see the naming convention for method name. Well, your method name should start with a lowercase letter and be a verb. For example, action performed, main, print, println. Okay. So you see in action performed, A is lowercase and the second word performed is in uppercase. So it's basically following more of a camel case. Okay. So this is how the naming convention of method goes, that it need to start with a lowercase letter, and if there is a second word it can follow camel case and it should be a verb. So method is a function name, so it has to define what you are doing. So that should be a method name. So this the cases is very important, so you need to follow that. Then we have variable name. Well, variable name should start with a lowercase letter, example first name, order name, etc. So over here again, see it is starting with a lowercase letter, but if it is having another word to it, so then that is in a uppercase. So for in first name, F is lowercase and the name of the N, it is having an uppercase. Similar goes for order number. O is a lowercase and N is uppercase. Fine. So this is how the very. So moving forward to constant name. Constant name should be in uppercase letter. Example red, yellow, max underscore priority. So these are valid constant names. So it always has to be in uppercase letter. Fine. Then package name. Well, package name should be in a lowercase letter. Example, Java, Lang, SQL, util, etc. So these are again predefined package. You must have seen like java.lang.util. So everything is in a lowercase letter. So package name should be in a lowercase letter. So let's see what is camel case. You have seen that in variable name, in method name, we are using camel case. So what is actually camel case? So Java follows camel case syntax for naming a class, interface, method, and variable. If a name is combined with two words, the second word will start with uppercase letter always. Example, action performed. So over here, A is in lowercase and the second word performed, the P is in uppercase. Similar goes for the first name. I hope it's clear to you what is camel case convention. So yeah, I think we are good with the naming convention. So let's see some of the other code conventions. Well, one is that Java should follow proper indentation. So your code should be having a proper indentation. Then is Java file should have a proper organization. So proper organization means that it should be in a package. It should be having all the necessary import statement, a proper class name, and it should follow all the proper naming conventions. If it is having a return statement, it should return something. If the comments are required, then there should be proper comments to it. And yeah, it should be properly packaged. Fine. So that is what it means. And last is comments. So yeah, comments are very important in Java, or it be may it be any language. Comments are really important because without comments, your code is like really very impossible to understand. So code should have a comment, and comments make it easier for a developer to understand a code. So let's take an example like there's a software which is developed today and you are not writing any comments to it. Next year, that I'm not working on that code and some new developer comes up and is working on a code. So without comment, he won't understand the complex logic that I have written. Obviously, it's very simple to understand the logic of A plus B, and it's quite clear that we are doing addition. But just imagine a code of a file which is having 100 or 1,000 lines of code. it is very difficult to understand, because then the new developer have to spend a lot and lot of time just to debug that code and understand what that code is actually doing. In comment is also very important for maintenance purpose. What happens in maintenance is, like, if there is a bug and I'm fixing it, then I should properly comment it out by saying that I'm making this change to fix this bug on this date. Why so? Because let's say 2 years from now a new developer comes up, or maybe even if in a month or after 15 days, if you are also checking the same code, then by reading the comment you remember that this is the change that you did to fix that bug. Because otherwise it could happen that if you're not putting a comment, then you won't recognize that why you made this change, and mistakenly you may remove that change because you at that particular moment you don't remember that there occurred a bug due to this code. So that's why comments are very important. Okay, so let's study different type of comments in Java. Well, this is an example which is showing simple class. So it is having some of the comments above by a backslash, sorry, forward slash, then stars, and then it is ending again with a star and a closing slash. So this is a kind of comment. Then again we are having double slashes and we are writing something. So whatever written after this double slashes is also a comment. Okay. So let's see what are different types of comments that Java have. Well, Java supports three kinds of comments. The first one is when you put a slash, then a star, then a star, then a slash, and anything, any text you write in between it is a comment. Okay, so compiler ignores everything this is written from this. So this is usually, written above the classes. So as whenever you need to mention that this is the class and this is the purpose of the class, this is the author, and on this date this class is created, you can write that thing in this comment. Or if there is a comment that is taking multiple lines, it's a very long comment and you need to write in between the code, but it's taking multiple lines, then instead of writing it completely in a single line, you can simply use this comment and write it. So it will make sure that your multiple lines are still a part of comment. Okay, then we have a documentation comment. So this is a documentation comment. So the difference is that it is having a slash, then it is having a star, and it is also having another star. So there are two stars, then the documentation, whatever you have to write, and it is closed by a star and a slash. So this indicates documentation comment. So there are documents. The compiler ignored this kind of comment. So just to make you know that compiler ignores each and every kind of comment. This is just for a user or a developer to understand. Okay. So the okay. So JDK Java Doc tool used for doc comments when preparing automatically generated documentation. So for more information, you can just check out Java 2 documentation by searching it on a Google. Fine. So these documentation you can write it yourself, or JDK is having a tool which is called as Java Doc tool. So it can generate the documentation automatically for you, and that documentation will be written within these comments. Fine. And then there is this comment which is like double slash and then text. The compiler ignores everything whatever is written from this to the end of line. So if you want to make a single line comment, then you can use this. Fine guys, so this was about the coding conventions, and let's do an example quickly to see how we can implement these coding conventions. Okay, so here I'm making a class. I'm giving it a name code conven example. Fine. So this is my class. So let's write a class. We have written public class code conven example. Let's create few variables. So while creating a variable, you need to make sure that you're following the indentation. So I'm making int a and int b. Fine. So you can see I have written int a and int b after a tab space. So I have left a tab space. So you need to leave this indentation space. So whatever you are writing within these braces should follow some indentation. Okay. Now let me create one of the method. So the method says void get a, and what it is doing is it will return this a variable. So I'm returning well, it's int get a. So you can see I have created a getter of a, and which is returning a, and similarly I can create a getter of b, and then I can create a setter also. So getter and setter are important because you usually define your data members as private. Why? Because you don't want their access to be given to any other class simply by putting it as code, by creating an object and directly accessing it. That's why you create getters and setters. So just to make sure that your code is safe from making any changes. So the first rule that we followed is we provided a proper coding convention by putting it under a proper indentation. We are also following a proper organization because here we are including it in a package. Fine. Now let me create another class over here, which is class main. And let me create a public static void main method into that. Okay, so you can see the indentation. I have created a class main, but when I'm creating this method, I'm leaving a tab space. Now let's say I need to create a for loop. So again, to create a for loop, I need to leave a tab space. So you can see using Eclipse, I'm not having a problem while creating any indentation because Eclipse automatically is doing that for me. So whenever I'm writing anything inside main, it automatically gives a tab space. So over here you can see we have two tab space. One is this and other is this. It's for main class. And whenever I've written a for loop, then again whatever is written under this braces will be having a tab space. So you can just remember a simple rule, like whenever you put these braces, the next statement should follow an indentation by using a tab space. Fine. So now let's see the naming convention that we are following. So over here, see, I've created a public class code conven example. So the case that I'm using is a uppercase. That is a perfect case for a class. Okay, then I have created variables. I'm using a lowercase. That is also fine. Then I'm creating a method and I'm using a camel case for that. So that is also absolutely fine because over here G is in lowercase and A is in uppercase. So that is perfectly fine. But now let's look at this class. Over here I'm creating a class main, but I used a lowercase, so that is an incorrect convention. Although compiler will not throw an error at me, but using a coding convention, I should always maintain that convention and should always put my class name in upper cases. Now it's fine. Again, my method name main, which is a predefined method, is in lowercase, which is absolutely fine. Okay, so I hope the coding conventions are clear. Now let's put some comment into this. Okay, so I need to mention that over here I am printing the value of I. I need to write a comment for that. So how to do that? So just put this the text comment symbol, that is double slash, and you can write whatever you want to write. So I'm writing this is a comment printing value 0 to 9. Okay, so this is the way we mention a single line comment. Now let's say if my comment is too long, let's say if it's crossing like, just I'm typing anything, if it's crossing like it's really big. So it's very difficult, and I would say it is uncomfortable for a developer to scroll down to read the whole comment. So in that case, what we can do is just instead of putting a single line comment, we can use a multi-line comment. So that will be slash star, and that need to be ended by a star and a slash. Okay, so this is how this multi-line comments work. You can convert it into any number of lines. So even if I'm putting a enter now, you can see it's using the multi-line comment and it's perfectly fine. So that is how it works. I hope that's quite clear. And for documentation comment, where you can create a documentation in another class, or you can simply mention over here by using uh, this comment symbol. And over here you can see these comments are coming in blue because these are documentation comments. And you can mention about the class name. So I'm writing like the class name is code conven example. Then you can mention the author name. Then I'm mentioning my name in author, and you can mention the date when it's created. So you can write any date, and then you can write the purpose. So why you created this class? This is also quite important because for a new developer to understand why this class is created, the purpose should have been there in the documentation comments. So this is how you can mention 3 types of comments in your Java code. I hope it's clear now. Okay guys, so thank you for this tutorial. Let's meet in next tutorial.